A better method for tracking purposes, especially handling credits and returns once a payment has been applied, is to use the credit refund feature in QuickBooks. You'll want to use this method if a customer actually returns a product or if you're providing a credit for some other reason, and we won't get into why those reasons might be, but if somebody needs a credit, a discount or something like that off of a service that you've already sold, then we need to be able to know how to do that correctly in QuickBooks. Again, we could go back to original invoices and adjust them, but I just want to say a good kind of rule of thumb or a warning flag, if you will, is if you find yourself going back into invoices, especially for transactions that have technically already occurred and you're making adjustments, then there are some other things that you need to be doing, both for your accounting and bookkeeping as well as just using the software appropriately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 credit memos for Brookfield, and this is just for kind of illustrative purposes. Normally I wouldn't create all 3 of them, but I want to show you 3 different options. So from my home screen, I'm going to come down, about 3/4 of the way over, about 3/4 of the way down as well, and there's a refunds and credits link, and I'll go ahead and give that a click. And we always have to pick our customer to get started, so I will choose Brookfield, but remember Brookfield specifically was working with their QuickBooks rollout, so I'll choose that job. It fills in all of the information, and I'll go ahead and choose an item. And let's say that what they're doing is for some reason they're returning one of the CBTs. Maybe it was damaged in transit or something like that. So I'll choose the CBT, and that of course is important because we need to know exactly what items we're working with. Then, of course, I need to go all the way over to the right-hand side, and I'm just going to press my Tab key to do that. And the quantity is 1. The rate is still $2.95, and so it's doing the math for us. Okay, so there is our return number 1. And I'm going to go ahead and move down to the bottom of the screen. Notice it says remaining credit, $2.95 down at the bottom. I'll do a save and close. Now, the first of the 3 things that I wanted to talk to you about was from this dialog box. When we have a credit or a refund, something has to happen. And this is QuickBooks telling you what it is that it's going to give you options for. So you can retain this $295 as an available credit. So next time they apply for an invoice, we can take it off of that invoice and it'll all balance out. We also can give a refund. We're going to actually write them a check. That would happen very often if you had an unhappy customer who didn't want to come back and maybe give you more business, so they don't want a credit with you, they just want their money back. Or you can already apply it to an existing invoice. Well, let's go ahead and say apply to an invoice and OK. And then it says, great, let me show you all of the invoices that are outstanding for this client. If there was more than one, then you could choose which one you wanted. In this case, I only have one for Brookfield, so it's going to apply it to the QuickBooks 2009 rollout project that had the very large balance on it. I will go ahead at this point, keep everything where it's at, and just click Done. So in that one easy step, we provided $295 discount for a CBT, and we have already applied that, so we can let our customer know everything's taken care of. We just took it off of the original invoice itself. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a second refund. So you can see the second option that we'll have. Again, we'll choose it from Brookfield from their rollout. Same item. Tab over, quantity of 1, perfect. And save and close. If we choose the second option, which is to actually give them a physical refund, and then we say OK, then QuickBooks comes up and says, great, if you want to give a physical refund, then obviously you need to write a check. So it's giving us basically a check option here. Refund is due to, refund is given via, and you'll see that we can do a variety of things, including credit cards. So if you're working with credit cards and you need to reverse the charges, that will be an option. We aren't set up for that in this particular course, so we're just going to stick with a check. But that's something that happens very often. Refund amount $295. What account do you want it to come out of? Refund is check to print, tells us the balance of our account, and basically we have all of the other information we need. That's all. We could put in a memo, but we don't need to. We just say OK. And now there is a check in the queue waiting to be printed for a $295 refund for Brookfield whenever we do our next check run. All right, that makes it easy. The last one, same thing, but they all start the same way. Refunds, Brookfield Mechanical. You get really good at this after you do it for a while. CBT. One more. And the last option, of course, is to retain it as an available credit. I'm going to go ahead and choose this, but I'm not going to show you how to do this yet because we're going to receive payments in a different chapter. Know that this is the first half, that I have actually retained a credit that I will use when they make their payment. So I'll just say OK, and that just takes us back to our original screen without showing us any further dialogues.